At a State Department signing ceremony, the U.S. and France agreed to a plan for France to set up a $60 million compensation fund to be managed by the United States. U.S. Special Advisor Stuart Eizenstat hailed the agreement, even though it's overdue.
We gather for marking another measure of belated and imperfect justice, but justice nevertheless, for the horrors of one of history's darkest eras.
The agreement must be approved by the French Parliament. It's designed to help Holocaust survivors and the families of victims who were deported from France to concentration camps during World War II. The State Department says the agreement is expected to result in payments to several thousand U.S. citizens and others around the world who were not covered by previous compensation plans. Among potential beneficiaries is Holocaust survivor Jacqueline Mendels Birn.
It's very late and very little.
Still, Mendels Birn says she's grateful for the compensation for what was a very dark chapter of her childhood.
And my mother said, "Don't worry, if the Germans come, I'll give you a little pill and you'll die right away and you'll never suffer." And my mother told us that. Can you imagine?
The compensation is bittersweet, says Rosette Goldstein, whose father died after being transported to a concentration camp.
And it's been 70 years for them to admit that they did wrong.
The compensation is by definition imperfect justice for victims, says Stacy Burdett of the Anti-Defamation League.
There is no compensation, no amount of money could ever make people whole who experienced the Holocaust or who lost their loved ones in these deportations.
She says there's a broader message.
The expression of regret and the effort to seek justice for Holocaust victims, it's not only about those victims who will get some measure of compensation, it's also about what kind of society we want to be.
Burdett says she hopes agreements like this one between France and the U.S. will send a message about the responsibility of governments for the Holocaust and all genocides. Pam Dockins, VOA News, the State Department.